Most CEOs right now are looking for ways to adapt to a post-corona business environment. We realize that the world has changed, and if we don't change with it, our businesses may not make it to 2021. But adapting your business to a new world is easier said than done. It requires a whole new level of creativity, innovation, and inventiveness. But what if you're just not the creative type? Well, as it turns out, creativity and innovation isn't just for startups, artists, and makers. Instead, there are a series of proven thinking strategies that anyone can use to come up with innovative solutions to unique challenges. This is the premise of a book I've just finished listening to called Inside the Box by Drew Boyd and Jacob Goldenberg. The book serves as a compelling intro into the systematic inventive thinking framework, or SIT. With SIT, your path to innovation often comes as a result of moving in what seems like the opposite direction, employing principles like function follows form, where you start with a solution and work backwards to your problem, taking the path of most resistance and exploring ways of doing things that don't seem to make sense, and thinking inside the box, where you commit to using only elements within the closed world of your problems. When using SIT to tackle big problems, you'll often find yourself stretched mentally, feeling like some ideas aren't worth thinking about or are just out of the question, or straight up ridiculous. This is where the core principle of avoiding cognitive fixedness comes in. For SIT to work, you need to stay aware of your inability to see certain things differently, because often these are where the biggest opportunities arise. SIT's thinking patterns that enable creative thinking include 1. Subtraction, where you take away some essential aspect of an item. Subtraction in a post-corona business context could be ghost kitchens, which are essentially restaurants with the physical sit-down experience removed. 2 is division. This is where you're splitting up a product or its components physically or functionally and rearranging them back into the product. An example of division could be YouCook in South Africa, which is a service that delivers a week's worth of recipes and exact measurements of all the ingredients. The innovation here comes from dividing the dinner prep process into elements and then rearranging them. 3 is multiplication. This is where a component is copied but changed in a counterintuitive way. A great example of this is in the real estate context, agents who are now creating virtual video tours for clients to see what it's like to walk through houses. They're multiplying the house viewing process but changing its format to video. 4 is task unification, where you're making one component perform more than one function. An example of task unification could be a fashion retailer that delivers a range of clothes to clients and waits while they try them on to buy the ones they like and return the ones that they don't. Task unification here comes from maximizing the value of the delivery vehicle in a way we haven't seen before. 5 is attribute dependency, where we're making one attribute of a component dependent on another. Right now, as more companies digitize their products and make them more available globally, adapting the currency of your pricing based on the location of your site visitors could be a nice example of attribute dependency. The simple 6-step process for executing on these strategies looks like this. First, we'll start with an existing situation. This could be a product or a process like your customer's buying journey. Then we'll go on to list all the relevant components and attributes. Then we'll apply one of the thinking tools. Then we'll consider and visualize our made-up product. And then we'll ask ourselves, should we do it? What are the benefits of doing it? If we do find benefits, we'll ask, can we do it? Is it viable? Lastly, we'll move the virtual product to the adaptation stage, which will be unique to every thinking method. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I hope this helps. For my own reference, I put together a one-page infographic of these ideas. If you'd like, I'd be happy to share it with you. Just leave the letters SIT in the comments and I'll send it through to you. Otherwise, if you'd like to see more videos about the SIT principles in action, please just comment more. Alright, cheers.